Greetings from Southern California. I'm Murphy Daly, AV veteran, project manager, and you're joining me. You are listening. You are watching the AV Life.
James King here, writer for the Higher Ed Digital Magazine, the IT and AV column, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert, coming at you live from New Jersey and Rutgers University and HETMA and higheredav.com. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. All right, folks. Well, if you're watching us on YouTube, you are probably seeing, hey, wait a minute. This looks different today. And yes, it does, because we are transferred over to StreamYard. You'll see some changes over the course of the next couple of weeks as we kind of fine tune how we do things here on the AV Life. But the same high quality content you come here to hear about from us. So not in that respect, nothing's changed, but your experience will be a little bit different. So we welcome your feedback regarding that going forward. So Murphy, James, how are we all doing tonight?
Trying to stay cool.
Has it even cooled down at all since we left like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's dropped. But now we're back in the heat wave. Like today, like right now, 113. They're calling for like maybe 119 tomorrow.
Oh, all right. So we got out just in time then. Okay.
Yeah, but it'll get back into the low hundreds soon.
What about you, Murphy? You doing okay?
I am feeling free.
Fancy free?
Well, we're looking forward to the holiday. So yes,
yes,
I'm independent. Yes. I'm feeling free, very free.
The freedom, the taste of freedom.
In a blaze of irony, since we begin like we often do by talking about the weather, I am actually leaving Friday to go on a trip to New Mexico.
Oh.
So going to be Santa Fe. Santa Fe, as I have learned, is actually on some elevation. So it will be cooler in New Mexico than here in Southern California.
Mm.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, that would definitely be welcomed.
Yeah, we're going to visit a liberal arts college that my daughter might like to check out. They have an event that she's going to be part of. And so we're hanging out. She's going to do her thing. We're going to do ours. And I'm going to find out whether or not, there's like an area where they rumor that it hums or something near Taos. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. Report back. We'd like to hear. Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
All right. Well, and speaking of colleges, we have our guests here tonight with us as well. This is our Infocomm first timers episode that we were just talking before we started recording, and I can't remember if I did this last year or not. I know I did it 2 years ago because I think I had like Britt and like people like that on. But I think we skipped last year. So this year we're bringing it back. And we have first off Robyn Bryce from Yavapai College, and Ryan could be happy with me because I said that right. How you doing tonight, Robyn?
I'm doing very well. Nice job. Nice pronunciation of Yavapai. We're proud.
Oh, well, thank you. Just for our listening audience, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and your position over there at Yavapai? And I'm going to keep saying it because I'm on a roll. So
I love it. The affirmations are amazing. I'm Robyn Bryce. I'm special programs manager over at Yavapai College. I'm a project manager, so I'm looking forward to the PM minute.
A fancy project manager, because program is fancy.
Yeah. Well,
giving respect.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm working on a few different projects right now. AI, digital credentialing or micro credentialing badges, you might also call them, as well as immersive learning. So VR, AR, XR. So that's kind of my wheelhouse, my projects that I'm working on right now, that working with different groups, and it's pretty exciting and awesome. This is my second year. I just finished out my second year at Yavapai. I started off as an instructional designer for 1 year, and then after the first year, I moved into this role, and I'm super excited about it. I love it. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, we're super glad that you're here with us today, Robyn. And when I met you down at Infocomm, like I knew I had to have you here, like you, and especially our other guest here, John Gunzel from John A. Logan. How are you, John?
Doing good. It's good to be here. It's good to see you guys again from Infocomm. So yeah, I'm a technology support technician at John A. Logan College. I am one of 3 technicians on campus. We handle classroom support tickets, office support tickets. I'm mainly focused on more of the classroom side, so all the AV stuff, plus the events that we have on campus, conferences, theater events, you name it, we do it.
That's
and we've
awesome.
We've got a few projects we've got coming down the pipeline this summer. We're actually getting ready to install our first QSys control system in one of our rooms, and then hopefully do, I think, 10 or 11 more on top of that. So it should be actually really good. We've talked with ABISPL and Epifan too as well. They're getting
Very cool.
our rooms loaded, so it's gonna be good.
Very cool. Yeah, and some good name drops there to go, John. Cool. Well, like I said, we're glad to have you here, and as well as Robyn. And I know we haven't had one, and I don't think we've had one in quite a few weeks. So I am glad to hand the mic over, as it were, to Murphy with our PM Minute.
All right. Well, whoa. When it comes to project management, I am getting closer to finishing my AV PM handbook, writing the conclusion. And, you know, when I started that, I had a plan for what was going to happen. That is common to all the projects. Almost every project, you have a plan. And the PM Minute today is about, don't get too attached to the plan. Because things change. Every time there's a plan, and then the next thing that happens is reality, and you have to adjust. I think this is particularly relevant when talking about going to Infocomm the first or any time. So don't get too attached to the plan. Have one, but hang on to it loosely.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's funny how you brought that up as part of like Infocomm, because I think that is like 100% accurate. Because like I've got, like, for instance, on Friday, like I took that as my day to like, or my plan was to take it as my day to go and see as much as I could, and go around and see as many people as I possibly could, sorry, we're getting used to this, and I had to flip over to go take a look at the chat. But yeah, exactly. So I see as many of the vendors as I could, like, you know, see what sort of products it was. And then, you know, I stop at my favorites first, you know, like places like Epson and Panasonic, and, you know, and those stops always take way longer than I planned them to. And then I end up like scattered. Like it's like, okay, well, I gotta go see, I want to see Igloo, and I want to go and like here, there, and then it's like I'm rushing through all the other parts then too, and I had to make some concessions about other stops I didn't get to make. But yeah.
Right. Well, my plan when I actually went to Infocomm for the second time this year, and I checked it out, I saw an educational part, the HETMA, I keep forgetting the name of it. What happened? The council, or not even the council, the whatever it was called. Everybody got together, all the HETMA stuff. The summit. There you go. The summit. There you go. All right. I saw the HETMA summit, which was extraordinary. It was amazing. And so I saw some education, but I'm like, okay, I'll just kind of say hi to people on the Wednesday, because I knew, I'm sorry, what was the next day? The day that the expo opened. I'm like, I can't leave. I just got to say hi to some people. And I ended up staying longer. And I even joined the the Eagle's Nest AV Life recording for shortly, and then I bailed. But I had a plan, didn't do what I thought I would do, really, really went to the edge of my ability, but got what I wanted out of it, and I'm glad I did. So,
James, it's actually James. I know your schedule was probably the most fluid, I guess, or chaotic out of everyone's. I think because you were juggling both trying to be Hetma and also doing your job that you were only 10 minutes down the road from.
Yeah, it was definitely this year was a little weird for me because a lot going on. You know, as Frank always said, having Infocomm in Vegas is not great because we still have to work. Like, yeah, when it's in Florida, technically we're still working the day things are going on, but it's easier to say, hey, I'm 3 hours ahead of you in different time zone, handle it. Here we still have the daily operation, and it's like, okay, you got to take care of that, or Infocomm show closes and you go home and you got family stuff and all that stuff, and luckily I didn't have soccer, but I thought I might have. So a lot of going on, a lot of crazy.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, Robyn and John, I mean, well, Robyn, we've been talking a little bit about Infocomm. Is there like a project management side you could apply that to, like an experience you have?
Yeah, my plan for Infocomm was to learn as much as I possibly could about, immersive learning technologies. So looking at Igloo, the Igloo rooms, or, what kind of screens are being used, or, if there was any VR. And then of course, AI, I was also interested to see what was going on there. It was definitely like a fire hose of information at times. I'm definitely glad Yavapai definitely brought a strong showing, which I thought was really great. And as a project manager, I work so cross-departmentally with so many different people. And a lot of my team was there, not just, the people in IT, and not that I don't really work with people in the pack, but we had people there from our performing arts, but then also the library people who are my XR team were there. And so, they saw things that I didn't see, took classes that I didn't take. We walked around together. We've made some contacts and reached out to those people, and already have meetings with Igloo. And there was another one I can't remember right now, because I found those fascinating, those rooms and just those concepts as a for XR, XR deployment, without using the headsets. It was really cool. There was a lot going on, but it was wild.
Yeah. And what about you, John?
Oh, I think I lost everybody.
Oh, we're still here.
Froze. You're back. You're back.
Is
he? He's not.
Can you hear us?
Oh, now we lost him.
Now we lost him. He'll come back.
All right,
I'll tech support.
Yeah. Well, this is the growing pains of a new software. So we'll see. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta let him back in.
I'm kind of psyched that we're trying this.
I love it.
Yeah. Hey, we're doing it live in front of everybody. There's John.
I'm all about the experimentation and exploration for sure.
No, that's great. And you know what? And it was quick. I got him right back in. So that yeah. So
internet is lovely here.
Yeah. So John, we were talking about the PM minute and being flexible and things like that. Was that kind of your experience with Infocomm?
Yeah, I mean, it was Dustin kind of helped me a lot with it. He kind of prepared me mentally for it. He's like, this is going to be a lot. Now, just don't overwork yourself. Don't try to do too many things at once. So I just kind of did what I normally do on a day-to-day basis. Just kind of the first day I was like, okay, I'm going to walk around, hit the booths that I know, the products, and talk with people there, and then just continue to walk around and see if there's anything that catches my attention. And that's kind of, if you see me in my natural state of work, I'm just kind of roaming around the college, not necessarily looking for a problem, but usually on the way to fix a problem. And I usually stumble across 3 more on the way to that first problem. It usually finds me. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lot. It was really cool to see lots of information, like Robyn said, and found some really cool tech along the way. It was really exciting, and talk with a lot of amazing, incredible people.
Yeah.
While walking around was really cool too.
Cool.
I do think the networking aspect of it is so important, right? You really do get to meet a lot of cool people, make those connections, you know, hey, what are you doing over there? Hey, we should talk. Let's share. I just think that those, as well as you get to be on really cool podcasts, you know, when you meet people. So
that's true. Well, thank you for that. And actually this leads us very nicely into getting your input on this. Now we've talked about this time over time. My first Infocomm was the Infocomm that barely was, I guess, is probably the best way of putting it. It was stories. that
said I've heard stories about that one.
Yeah, the October one in Orlando that was like the best attended by higher ed, but low attendance generally. But you know what though? Like it was probably the best way to get warmed up into Infocomm. Now, from the numbers, from what I saw, is that this was so far this was the highest since the pandemic. Not quite pre-pandemic numbers, but we're getting close. So having said that, Robyn, John, whoever's wants to chime in first, what was your experience with just the volume of people? I guess was it what you were expecting? Like was it not? Like so.
John, you want to go first?
I'll go first this time. It was definitely a lot more than I was expecting. I knew it was going to be big, but I did not think it was going to be that big. Just the building size alone was just enormous. Like I don't think I've ever been anything that's that long, and just have that many people crammed into it in one place. To put it in kind of a more perspective, I think maybe there's one or two towns that has that many people in it at one point in time around me. Yeah, I think there's just one. The second one is a college town, and it's a ghost town during the summer. So yeah, it was pretty incredible seeing that many people in one place at one given time.
I would definitely like echo that as far as like the sheer size of it, just to walk from the central hall over to West Hall. And both halls were so huge and there were so many things. I've been to ISTE before, like 5 or 6 years ago in Denver. And that was pretty big, right? That was my first conference that I went to that I was like, wow, this is a big show floor and there's a lot of people here. But just the sprawl and the sheer amount of things that you could see and engage in at Infocomm was pretty amazing and wild and so much like whatever interest you had as far as AV went, it was there. It was cool. There were things that I was like the wall. Did you guys see the wall that was like I don't know what company was it? Was it Sony? What wall was it?
LG.
Yeah,
LG. Yeah.
That wall was it was so cool. So yeah, just to see things that and then just to be in Vegas as well. And I don't often, I would say, travel a lot, so get to go out of state and see the sights of Vegas was pretty wild as well. The accommodations were lovely. It was just lovely all around. But yeah, lots of people, lots of things.
One of the things that was amazing to me is to go there and be like, oh, these are all my people. Like, like all because so much of the time when doing AV stuff, you're like the one part of a big organization that needs your services. And so I always feel like, well, I'm just the one lonely, person doing my little thing that nobody else understands, but always wants right away. And then you go to this place where there's these people that get it, they know. So it's really wonderful.
So basically it's like Cheers, but like 30,000 people, it's like
everybody knows what it's like.
Everyone knows what it's like, and everyone knows your name because as long as you're wearing your name tag. But you know,
well, there you go. And
the
it's also like the I've said that the AV industry is the same people that have rotating shirts. So like, oh, this guy worked at this company, now this company, now this company, now this company. So I saw a ton of people that I've known for decades, and I'm like, oh, and remember when? Oh, and yeah, and now you're and so that was a lot of what it's like to me.
Well, I was gonna say, unfortunately, not to get too sidetracked, but I think we're about to go. We're going through that like right now. I think we're going to see some shift employment wise. I think I know of one, and we started having a conversation regarding it on the HETMA back channels. But I think there might be more underway. So it's going to be interesting to see where people lay and or where they land. Where they land.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll say land. Where they land after this next shuffle. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool that we're all in like our own little, you know, I guess bubble as it were for that. Is that yeah, you can wear those many shirts and many hats, and you know, it's just you're representing a new product in one way or another.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so we kind of started talking about it, and I mean, Robyn, you seemed like you had a goal in mind for the things that you were looking for, and same for you, John. What was something you found that really kind of like blew your mind?
I just mentioned the one. What was another one?
Another one aside from
Besides the wall. Oh, well,
yeah.
I mean, like I know, and I mentioned it before too, though. But like, I really thought that the igloo spaces, whether it was the three walls, or really the ceiling and the floor as well, or like the box that you walked into, the one that was like receptive to touch, like that was very cool. You know, again, as a involved in this XR project, looking for ways to reduce barriers of entry, help people not have to put on the headsets and things like that. How can we create experiences where students can walk into a room and be immersed in something? I thought that there was a lot of ideas there for that. So that igloo room was like pretty cool, and seemed like the potential for like pop up and take down kind of thing. Even like a mobile unit, if you will, that we can like take to places. But yeah, I thought that that was probably the touch part of it, where you can reach out and just touch the wall, and it was like, woo, like sparkles, like master of the universe inside that box.
Very cool. Yeah. And well, and I will also mention that it's the Higher Ed AV Award winning igloo product, and so two multiple time winner. So
Nice.
I'd be amiss if I didn't mention that for them
Well
and for us.
deserved.
Yes. So clearly they're on to something there. John, what about you?
I really wanted to go check out the igloo, but every time that I walked by there, they were completely packed into the booth size that they had. They really needed a bigger booth size, so I didn't get the chance to see the interactive display, VR, all of that. I really wanted to. I think that one of the coolest things that I saw, and it's me, it was doing the QSIS tour and seeing that in a live production area and seeing what it's capable of, and just all the ideas that ran through my head. Like, we can use this in our theater, we could use this in our conference center, and just it's almost limitless the amount of stuff you can do with a QSIS system. As long as you know what you're doing with it, it can be really cool. Like, you can do interaction with the touch panel, the cameras. It was just mind-blowing what you can do with that system.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest things that I saw.
Nice. I was like, personally for me, and then I'll get James and Murphy if you had something you found with Sony's SRD displays, the spatial reality displays. Those things were really cool. I don't have a use case for them aside from maybe some modeling labs and things like that that we don't have control over. But knowing that they exist, and that the way that it tracks your face and your eye movement to be able to make the image adjust to where you are, it just was amazing. It really was. It was mind blowing, like literally, because like the one, and I always reference this one, was they had a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And that was like it. And if the way you moved, you actually could see the other side of the Tyrannosaurus Rex head, and you can go back the other way. And like, so it, again, without the use of goggles or, like that sort of thing, Robyn. Cause yeah, I agree. Like that's a barrier. I don't like goggles. Like, and my son has his VR headset, it's like fine, but that's home use. He's like the only one using it. Well, him and me, but it's different when you're dealing with classrooms and students and the cleanliness, and let's just be real, our college students aren't necessarily the cleanest on the planet, but
Yeah.
We do demos all the time, and one time we were doing a demo. It was like Yava Palooza is what it's called. So there's like tons of people everywhere, and someone gets inside the headset, and he was having some technical difficulties. So I was like, let me see. He had it on for maybe like 5-10 seconds, but the amount of sweat that like built up on the pad, and I didn't even think about it. I just like stuck it on my face, and it was just like, and I'm like, so like I fixed it real quick, and I'm like, okay, I need to walk away for a minute because it's really gross. It's really gross. But it's what we do,
That's what we do.
Done.
Yeah, exactly.
What we do.
Oh yeah, well I had a similar thing. We're doing in the middle of our podium refresh right now, and it's not just the students, it's also the faculty. I will give it to them as well, because some of them questionable. And like what the podiums, we have a keyboard tray. Well, it's gotten build up over the years of the wrists and the hands and the touching, and we do our testing and cleaning, and the kids come around and they clean it with pledge and all that stuff, but just some of the stuff you just don't get rid of from thousands of touches per semester. This is not happening. But anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Murphy, I know you had a short amount of time with us. Did you get a chance to see anything that you thought was quite interesting?
I really wasn't focused on the technology, unfortunately.
Okay.
I was really focused on the education and running into people.
Yeah. So all right. Well then,
to be fair, I did go like, oh, that company, I remember them. So it wasn't new, because I'm like, hey, have you improved this one problem that I had 5 years ago with your stuff? So, and the people were like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I did have that conversation with a manufacturer that I will not name, but yes. Anyway.
Right. So that's not fair. I didn't get to see any cool stuff in that.
Well, all right. So it's a part. Hang on to that. I'm coming back to you for something. Then, James, did you get a chance to see anything that you thought was really cool?
Well, I have to agree with you with the Sony spatial display. So I really found that interesting. I'm actually working on getting a demo in my place for it, but I saw that last year, and it was cool. I really thought it was neat last year when I saw it at Infocomm, but I was like, it's one display. It's hard to justify for a room. It's like a one case use, very limited. Well, this year, yeah, they have the one display, but you can actually now stack them. So you can actually do 4 vertical or 3 horizontal or 2x2, still getting the 3D image and still seeing the flat 2D with the 3D image as well. I thought that was cool. I'm like, well, I can throw that into a specialty room. You can have a couple people around that. So I'm more intrigued by it now. I'm definitely looking at it, but other than that, like nothing really jumped out at me.
Now, I mean, was it me, or did AI not have as big of a presence as I thought it was going to be? I felt like it wasn't like being shoved down my throat like I was expecting it to this time around.
No, just a couple mentions here and there, but yeah, people really were not like, hey, look, we have AI. No, you didn't really see that.
Yeah.
But
okay.
So, I didn't see it reflected in the classes a lot either. There was a couple classes, but there wasn't like a ton of those kind of classes.
Yeah, no, I agree. Unless it was like this is an AI class. Like it wasn't like people. It seemed like and I think maybe a couple of the cameras said they had like built-in AI, but like nothing. It wasn't like I said. It was like everywhere. What about you, John?
Yeah.
Did you see what was your AI experience?
It was kind of the same as
That's the
everybody
key.
else's.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key word nowadays. You know, so I gotta pick it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think just a few of the cameras, maybe a microphone audio system, but it was mostly in the cameras, really just picking up body movement. Yeah, I didn't really see much or hear much about AI while I was there.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because we could have a whole conversation about this, you know, outside of here. But like, if a camera is doing, let's say, speaker tracker, body tracking, is that really AI? And then if that's AI, then we've had AI built into cameras for years now.
We've actually, that's the thing is, I think what most people need to do is define what AI is.
Yeah.
Right now, it's too broad, and it's one of those things where a lot of folks are just going, I don't know what to call this, so I'm calling it AI. So, and then I've been saying we don't have true AI yet, like not what I see AI to be and what folks keep saying AI will be. I haven't seen that yet. It's more of what you're saying, Tim. It's it's camera moving, tracking people and stuff like that. That's not AI to me.
I think Lyle mentioned something very similar to James did in the virtual conference. How it was not true AI, but more of just an algorithm to find that specific shape or to find that specific tone.
Yeah, I was just going to say I appreciate it because AI is such a buzzword. You know, to not see it shoved down your face, I think is you know, a little bit of ethical, or you know, not just jumping on the train just to jump on the train, but like, you know, being responsible with that word, if you will. The fact that it wasn't just plastered everywhere. Don't get me wrong, I love me some AI. You know, like I'm a Chat GPT girl. I'm all making. I can't wait for Sura. What is it? The OpenAI video maker. I can't wait for that to like finally be publicly like released. I'm excited about it. I can't believe I can't remember the name right now. But yeah, anyway, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, that was great. That was a great addition there. But yeah, it's one of those. I think the impact of AI, or however we want to look at it, is I think it's actually more in the instructional space than it is anywhere else right now. I mean, yeah, we have things are getting. Oh, Sora. There you go. You know, we get it as part of whatever hardware, you know, things like that, if we want to call it that. But the students are using it and faculty are using it more. And, you know, as far as Chat GPT and things like that, and, you know, doing those sort of things, I think that's the bigger piece right now. And I think that's the bigger piece that needs to be addressed, you know, so. But that is a whole nother conversation for a whole, that could be a podcast in and of itself.
There's tons of podcasts out there about AI.
Right. Yeah. So I don't even need to really dive into that here. Murphy, I'm coming back to you. So yeah, you didn't get a chance to do the product thing, and I know your focus was more on networking and education. What was your your big takeaway from those days that you were with us? Even personal, like a personal, like aha moment or something. I can also come back to you if you need a moment to think about that.
Well, wait. Sorry, what was the question again? You were saying what is my takeaway?
Your big takeaway or like aha moment, like if it wasn't
from the whole experience.
From your 3 days that you were. Because I know your focus, like I said, your focus wasn't on product, but it was on.
To be fair, I went to a free class on AI. Since we're talking about AI, and
perfect.
I have a lot of suspicion of AI. I'm like, what is this? What is this about? This does not seem like something that is really useful. But you know, I thought I should not be closed-minded about it. and it was a free class. So I came in and checked it out. And so there was a little set of tables in front. Not tables, but chairs. So that was all full. And I was being, the learning type person. I was like in the close up there listening to it. And I introduced myself to the speaker ahead of time, like, hello, how you doing? And then sitting there, the area got 3 deep, 5 deep, 5 deep behind. Everybody wanted to hear what was going on with AI for AV. So that was interesting. And it's like, okay, at first there were the people that came early and had a seat, but this whole group of people came in. Like, people were really checking it out. I believe that the person doing the education did share what the AI could do appropriately. I don't think he was, I think he was showing what the tool could do. And as it got like 3/4 of the way done, most of the people left because it became clear that, like, I think my assessment was confirmed. Like, yeah, this isn't ready for us. But it was nice to be open. Like, okay, what have you got? It kind of did what I thought it was going to do. I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if there was this magic genie that knew all the answers and I could just ask and that person could go, bing, bibbidi bobbidi boo, and it all happens, right? Not to mix magical metaphors, but but it's like,
so real quick on that, Murph, is, and I think that's where some people are getting lost with AI. The best way I've heard AI as it currently stands.
Oh, we have a defender.
Is treat it as an intern. So you ask it to do something, it comes back, you review it, and if it's right, you accept it. If not, what you do to your intern, go back and redo it. Now, the great thing about the AI intern is it has no feeling. You can tell it 1,000 times, you're wrong, go back and fix it. It's not going to get upset. It's going to go back and fix it. So if we treat the current AI right now as an intern, like how we talk to junior programmers or junior designers or junior whatever, be like, hey, no, you're missing this critical piece. Go back and do this. Then we're going to use AI correctly. But right now, everyone gets that senior or your executive level programmer or designer, and it's not there yet. It's still a toddler.
No, and I would agree with that. It is the iteration, it is the human element that is very important when, working with AI. And I feel like we're talking about like generative AI. I tell my people all the time that I train or talk to about it. It's like your best buddy who knows like a lot of stuff that you like, but sometimes it lies and maybe gets a little drunk. So, but I like James, your idea of, treat it like an intern, because it is correct. It is something for the potential that exists, at least where we see AI. And once again, I'm no expert, this is just my playings and my doings, but, yeah, it's there for the potential and the possibility. It's not to be an absolute solution finder. And I think that's important to remember.
And I just want to put, that was not my idea. I actually stole that from Uncle Richie from A State of Control on AV Nation. I heard it from him, and I was like, you know what? I love that. I'm stealing it.
Yeah.
Well, I went further and actually went to the Project Management Institute. They have a free class on AI for project managers. So that was an interesting class. I got, 5 PDUs for it. Thank you. But straight up, I had a group of people at the job that I just left talking about how to use AI, specifically Copilot, for doing note-taking in meetings. And I'm like, Copilot is a great start. It's not the end. You can't, like that joke, they cruise control. You still have to be in the seat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually,
True.
I like that better. Cruise control. You have to be in the seat. Fine, it helps. It helps. But you have to be in the seat. And you can't completely disappear. Maybe it rests your weary foot. But there's a lot that you still have to do. So
Yep.
fine. Copilot allows somebody to like take the notes, but I would have to go in to those notes and go, oh yeah, put it in and actually make it a usable note for the meeting. Like, this is the information. This is the action we need to do. This is the person doing the action and the date it's supposed to be done. You can't say, take this huge gobbledygook, and it's not complete gobbledygook. An educated person can get through it, pick out what's needed so that the person in the meeting can not have to go the whole time, but actually engage and do relationship building and like pull out more nuance than they might have if they were having to type fast and furious. So having Copilot kind of grab it, but you would have to take the knowledge that you just took from the meeting, go over to Copilot and go, oh yeah. No, these 3 people were named, but only this person is going to be doing the task. And they didn't mention a date at all. We forgot to mention it. But I know from the meeting, of course, everyone understood we meant this date. So grab it quickly and it'll save some time, a half an hour, but it's not going to go away. It's not going to be like, oh, nobody needs to sit in the front seat. I remember, like cruise control, you have to be on it.
So, agree.
And it may be that going through this kind of painful time of working with the tool will get to the part where it becomes more mature. Maybe. And so we kind of have to suffer through it like early spreadsheets led to the glory that is Excel now. But it's not a quick answer. And I think saying an intern is like, I think, yeah, it's not as smart as an intern.
I don't know. Have you seen some of these interns?
Well, and also for those who are interested, I did a quick search because we have access to LinkedIn Learning. There are lessons there and like why AI matters in project management. So
I found it interesting that the PMI training was like, they will have biases. I'm like, I don't find that the most blocking thing in AI.
Well,
that's like
it
a
is.
personal excuse me?
It's a huge blocking thing of in AI. I mean, the best example I saw was the SoFi ad that was on TV and stuff. Have you all seen that for SoFi Financial? So it's an ad where they ask AI generate images of people good with money. 90% of the images were male. When research shows females are much better with finances than men. So there's a bias out there, and that AI is generating that bias as well as everyone else that say, no, these men are better with finances when really it's actually females. So we have to be mindful of the bias in AI. Then you also have AI, and not just AI, but other detection things in technology where they detect minorities almost as one, and they're not actually being clear and identifiable like they should be. So we really have to be mindful of the bias in AI.
I'm not saying that it's not biased. I guess, yeah, I'm like, I'm much more interested in like actual real next steps. In project management, the bias is like, we're not talking broad things. We're talking like, what's the next step? So for me, it wasn't a particularly concerned block, which is why, like, why are they talking about that with specifically for PMs? You know, I'm like,
well, I think,
fine,
I think speaking to James's point, because yes, there are inherent biases in there, and and the developers of AI wonder if those biases will ever be able to be trained out of it. But if if someone is using it to come up with a project plan, or maybe asking to involve stakeholders or different things like that, and once again, because people do use it for a research tool, but you still have to have that fidelity, as we talked about, of going back and iterating and doing your own research, and making sure that you're using it with the proper ways, with the ideas of these biases, or know that you have to engage the human engagement in the process. But I think that there could be dangers if we don't teach people just those kind of nuances. The idea that it's not the answer. It's a tool that we could use in partnership with. That there are biases that are inside of it. So make sure that you're aware of that as you're using it for research and knowledge building. And then not that this is necessary. I mean, this kind of plays along with the bias we're talking about. The like the technology gap that exists between different groups. I think it's important to teach people how to use AI, because we're going to see, I think, the tech gap grow more and more if we don't engage people from all our students. Saying no, we're not going to use AI on our campus. I don't know if that's necessarily the right answer, because Pandora's box has been opened. But teaching them how to use it with without just copying and pasting and things like that, I think are important for all of the reasons that we've talked about, as well as we want them to critically think.
You remember back when like navigation systems were super new, and they were even like separate from the car. Now they're kind of in the car, and there was a separate one. I had a Magellan one, and there would be people that go, "I'm just going to follow the navigation system," and they go off a cliff.
It's not always right.
Yeah.
No,
Michael, that's a lake. It's like,
use your brain.
For those who are Office fans,
there is no exit there anymore.
Yeah.
And the quickest route is not always the shortest route, and the shortest route isn't always the quickest.
Right.
Correct.
So things like that, like the GPS, AI, anything like that, it's gonna give you what it feels like. Feels the wrong term there, but it predicts. If you notice, it's all prediction based. That this is going to be your fastest route, or this is your best answer. It's never 100%.
Yep.
It's never. It just says these are what we believe are fastest route or the best solution. Here's others, and that's where the human mind comes in to make the final choice. And as Robyn said, AI is a tool. And then going back to the bias, like I was at an AI conference last year, and one of those things they were talking about with the bias is their one thought, and again, this is one of many, is how to combat it in AI is feed it all the biases, because then it feels that it'll land in the middle. Now, the speaker was like, I don't know if this is right, but like that's one theory, is let's feed it every single bias in the world, and then maybe it'll actually land in the middle, kind of cancel each other out. But I'm a little worried about that one.
Right.
So we went to Infocomm a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry.
I brought it up because I brought up AI not being present in the conference, and
I brought it up because it was at the meeting. I said I went to that training at Infocomm.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah. So
and then James had to attend Infocomm. So and we all got into it.
Squirrel.
It's a bigger, well, that's what happens here on the AV Life, and anyone who's been listening for an extended period of time knows that that's what happens. We get derailed. The AV Super Friends have Off the Rails as a special episode. We do it regularly, so it's no big deal. I
feel like you need like a spinning graphic that says like something like Off the Rails, or
I think I'll have to be able to. Yeah, I'll have to start
sidebar
that. Yeah, sidebar. So as we start to close out here, John, I'm going to go with you. If there was something you could tell your pre-Infocomm self, what would it be with what you know now?
Be prepared to walk and prepared to talk, hydrate, and have fun. I mean, it is a blast. I had fun talking with a lot of people. There were a lot of people that would just come up to me randomly and talk, and finding out that they're some higher up in one of the companies that we have on campus, and getting to know them. Don't be afraid to make friends. Don't be afraid to talk to people. That's the biggest thing. I mean, they want your business, but also you got to get to know them first, because I'm one of those people who I won't sell a product if I don't believe in it, and I won't buy a product if I don't believe in it. So having those demonstrations and talking to an actual real life person in person, I think helped me a lot more. So yeah, I would just say be prepared to walk, hydrate, prepared to talk.
Nice. For Robyn, for you.
He like stole all my answers. I was like, hydrate. And then he started the comfortable shoes. And I'm like, okay. So no, exactly. Be prepared to walk. Don't be afraid to say yes to things. Download the app. I think the app is really great. And make sure that you stop at the HETMA booth around happy hour time to make sure that you know, get some cheese and wine.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like that became like the center focus of Infocomm, like on the second day.
Yeah.
Like everybody was around the booth.
Right. It was it was one of the cooler booths there for sure. We got music playing. There was, 2 Decker. It was pretty awesome. Good people all around.
Yeah, there were definitely times I was able to tell people, just come and meet me at the HETMA booth. Like, I'm gonna be there. Like, here's where you find me. It's like, and it was nice having that as a landing zone. So, so cool. All right, and now here's the other question, and whoever's ready can answer it first. If you could change something about Infocomm, what would it be? And I'm asking this for our friends at Avixa. So. And I'm assuming you filled out your feedback form already, but what would you change?
When I was signing up for classes in the beginning, like if later on I wanted to like I couldn't like stack classes that happen at the same time and then and then trying to like undo the class that I had I had to find. So signing up for classes in that original thing that I signed up for, that was a little perplexing at times. I think that was probably the most difficult thing. And I love that it was so big, but can we stack it on top of each other so I don't have to walk so far away from one hall to the other hall?
Well, it
was good. I got my steps in.
That might get better in 2 years, depending on what construction brings. But yes, that made it a little difficult. So, John, what about you?
I would say fillable water stations.
Okay.
For your water bottles. That, and probably having more tours of the showroom floor.
Okay.
Like I did the one with Ryan, which was fantastic. I got to get to know Ryan pretty well. He was actually really cool. We got along great. And then actually stumbled upon the unofficial AV Super Friends tour, and Teddy was pulling me in, told me to join, and Chris Decker told me to join too. So I hopped in. Those 2 tours were actually really cool, and I got to see some really cool things and learn a lot of things. So nice. I think having more tours for those smaller booths, I think they would actually benefit a lot from that too.
Very cool. All right. Awesome. I'm sure. Oh, I hope Joey Lloyd and some of our friends from Avixa are listening in and can take a few notes from today's episode, and take that back. So yeah, we're getting to that point in the night. I want to thank both Robyn and John for joining us here.
Thanks for inviting us.
Absolutely.
We're definitely glad to have you. Not mandatory, but if somebody that's listening to the podcast wanted to reach out and contact you, Robyn, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Really easy. It's Robyn, ROBYN .Bryce, BRYCE @YC.edu. Reach out. Let's talk. Let's chat.
As long as you're on the approved email list, apparently.
I know.
Apparently, another .edu did not work. So
yeah, it's interesting. Google and we're Microsoft, and sometimes some Google schools and our Microsoft platform like fight with each other and will bounce back emails. It's weird.
yeah.
I don't know. Well, like I said, I'll tell Ryan. He'll fix it.
Yeah. All right. What about you, John?
So just kind of like Robyn, it's my first name, but it's my full first name. So JONATHANGUNZEL@JALC.edu. And sometimes we do get things that get kicked out. We have Mimecast. I don't know if anybody's ever used Mimecast, but it likes to kick out some emails that aren't spam. So you got to be careful what you put in there. Don't put what is it? Like dear colleagues or something. Something's yeah. don't say the word viruses. Don't say the word gift card. It'll get kicked out very quickly.
All right, good to know. Okay. Just say cash only and unmarked bills. Anyway. All right. Well, and James and Murphy, thank you so much for joining. As you guys always do, week in and week out. And thank you to all of our listeners. And as I always say, until our next adventure. Oh, and actually, before we go, I shouldn't have done that because now I close this out, but I'm doing it anyway. I have stickers. I got them in time right after Infocomm. And so if anyone's interested in getting a AV Life until our next adventure sticker, drop us a DM with your address. I will start shipping those out to people. I think I have like 200 of them. So, I mean, that should be enough, but I'll send out a few, if anyone's interested.
Limited edition
until I make more. So yeah. So having said that, until our next adventure.
Bye.